inane, boring, just have coffee, pour the coffee. Like this isn't exactly it. It's more like have coffee, or um, clean your toilet, take a shit. Like I don't have to look at my toilet and think I have to clean my toilet to clean my toilet to see it, to like that sort of dilemma. So like I'm someone who's at an early age reached the ability to shut down my mind and just zero thoughts. And that's my normal state. My normal state is, or maybe this is what everyone does, or maybe like the sicknesses, people get filled with thoughts and then everybody starts at this state. But, anyways, I don't generate automatic thoughts. So I have to force them. I have to force. I think thinking is sort of like the higher end of consciousness, but like the way I think about it is my habitual thought process might be clouded by just constantly thinking about how to evaluate and circumvent the inevitable psychological discomfort and wear and tear that I'm going to, for the day, for the night, until I fall asleep, incur while I'm anywhere in Utah, pretty much. And then, like, if I show up at a place, guess what? People show up at a place, like, and then they start talking, and it's somewhat more interesting. Like, if I were to go out and I were to do, which I think is what I need to do, just self improvement in a public place. So, like, get my guitar, get my bike, get my papers, and just sit there and write. And like, these are strategies that I've developed to maintain my sanity under these conditions. It's been about a year and a half, a year and a quarter, or something like that, of that I've lived my life under these conditions, and most of it has been depressed and anxious. Well, maintaining my calmness because I'm an extreme stoic monk samurai that is so freaking badass. Any other human being, if they were being harassed by this kind of paparazzi, they would go mad. Or they'd fucking call the fucking security guards. It's like, hey, that person's harassing me. Hey, state, government, blah, blah, blah. I don't have the story together yet. I'd rather just convince the internet before the government and at least put on record. So that, like, there's other people dealing with this. I think I'm the only one that's smart enough to have figured it out or publicly figured it out, or like one of the first people to articulate it and then see the duty instead. Like, just like, how do I build a plan of action against this? Um, for my psyche, because it's not up to me. I don't get to decide whether or not it's enjoyable or not. I've tried manipulating myself towards compliance and submission versus uh, complete the opposite, and something in the middle, of course. So, like, yeah, so like I get high on marijuana. Um, I'm so fat. I get high on marijuana, and I'm probably like 20 pounds overweight. I could still be fat. I'm still a little overweight for someone like me with such high metabolism, and the way my body's shaped. Like, there's, yeah, but I think, I assume that's my theory, but just like my theory that either I'm schizophrenic or there's literally a cult of personality that has formed around me from people who are sexually abused because the person next to me happened to be a sexual abuser. Also, I was abused. I when I was when I was like six six, another kid like told me, he's like, yeah, you want to try sex, it's this amazing thing. And it's like, yeah. And then, like, that sounds really cool. Wow, don't have the context to be profusely abhorred by this, and then um, we kind of awkwardly go in the bath. It wasn't even awkward. It was just like I didn't feel any emotions. I just hurt my penis. Like touch tips. Yeah, I'm gonna upload it on YouTube. Yeah, that's basically it. And that pretty much abhorred me from sex. There was another experience that abhorred me from women, and like I pantsed a girl once. I was running around. I think it was the same guy. Kid. I think it was the same kid. No, it was probably someone else. It was probably someone else. But like running around, and I thought it was just a game. I passed the girl. I felt really bad about that, and like that kind of affected the mindset that I had, mostly ignoring women growing up. But now I have a covenant with God. Trust me, it was a psychedelic experience. It was all spiritual. It was on drugs. It was like perfect. Like the reasoning, the way that I envisioned the save the system thing was perfect. Absolutely, I cannot shake my faith in that. But I got orders for that. Now whether or not my choice in life is always up to me. But like I'm not supposed to have sex till at least I'm at the top is I think the low level of it. At least I'm at the top. So I have to be in a neutral, reasonable position of a separate entity that's mostly neutral and mostly an entity of like certain levels of security risk. Like at some point, like everyone's just in agreement and like, yeah, this is fucking horrible. Help us, please. Like I had to build a security system. I had to build a security company. I have to be able to negotiate with nations and convince them to peaceably and awesomely with like fist fights. It's like you punch the other president if he says something. It's like you son of a bitch. And it's like we're gonna have a tussle. It's something like that, like a more advanced way of dealing with. You have to have microaggression implemented to prevent the macro aggressions of nations. So if like you had soccer games are a form of this. You have nations go against each other through soccer instead of going to war through a much more costly fist fight at the very least. Come on, we should have nation wars where it's like, okay, we're gonna go out and we're gonna running like charges. Like this will totally help with wars, reduce the debts, increase the injuries. But like you have nations and you have two sides and they meet up in lines like ordered lines, battle positions, all that, but they don't have sword, they don't have a shield, they just got their fists, maybe some wrappings, and they're gonna go like grapple and beat the shit out of each other and like break arms. Like for sure, it's like you get a knee broken if you fuck up in the war. It's a serious war, but we could get you a new knee nowadays, so it's like wow. Or at the very least, it's like we're going to be able to. Like I can think of it like you just basically put a thing in the replacement of where the kneecap would be if someone took your kneecap for their kneecap, uh, because they got theirs taken. You just put a metal thing here, and you put something to support the leg, and to let's see, and then a hinge right here and a motor, and then boom, you got a knee, like something like that. Like, yeah, a hinge and probably higher up, but like the cost of that is like technically mechanically you could get giant rubber bands or giant springs, and you could just find a way for a mechanism to just like, which I think already exists, just to naturally bend the knee like up a little bit and then some way up and down. Like I don't think that's very complicated. Like I literally think that like and an e-bike battery and a like you have two e-bike batteries on your back and then you got like 12 hours of like drink, drink, and like, like, but I think that's a good idea. I'm serious. I think China and India already kind of naturally implemented it a few years ago at the border. They were having stick fights on the fucking cliff, and they fucking threw each other off the cliff. Like they were killing each other. It was pretty brutal, but it was like stick fights, and they were probably being more lenient because they're modern ass people, and they ain't like Genghis Khan, and it's a different times. It's like it's actually quite gruesome to smash someone in the face with a fucking stick for most modern people. So I got a chronic e-cig issue, but I use it way too often when it's like emotional disturbance, e-cig, emotional disturbance, e-cig, emotional disturbance, e-cig. It's like it's unconscious, so I gotta work on being just aware of that, and then working through my problems. Breathing, that's one thing. Like hit the e-cig. Sometimes take a deep breath when I hit the e-cig. So like just wrap those two up together. Meanwhile, a breath would have been probably more even enjoyable given most moments, but I got this guitar. Look, it has Totoro on it, and like there's tape on it because I tried wrapping it up to protect it against falls at one point when I was super high, and then I decided it was a bad idea. But I'm glad I thought about it. Like maybe I just cover this in like a spray rubber a little bit, and like put tape right here, and put tape right here, and just on the edges. That would help. Some right here too, but it's cool. Tony Alvarez guitar. It's like thanks Tony for the guitar. That's such a nice guitar. This is like that's I really the novelty of it's kicked off. I don't really, but that's a really nice guitar. So I guess I was supposed to do like a 3 hour podcast, and I think since I got things to open up about my life now, because like I basically told the two things or three things that were most embarrassing that I could ever tell. And other than that, like I don't really, like maybe more embarrassing things is like I'll get into detail because it won't be embarrassing. But like fingering a girl at a party like twice, like it was kind of awkward, to be honest. But anyways, so keep on going. Battery's gonna die. I can just make the video as long as till the battery dies, or just find the battery. I got VR, so like I'm straight up thankful for stuff like VR. Like I feel like it's actually a device that's meant to make me sane, not like an indulgence. Like playing video games has been actually, I think I feel a lot of guilt about it because of the typical wisdom that is ultimately true of what video games does to productivity. But being me, being me, and with this cult of personality, escaping to a place that has just I interact with a world that's seemingly reasonable because I don't know. I'm just depressed and anxious. So, and I haven't talked to anybody really seriously ever since I met that narcissist the last over a year ago. And I kind of got isolated, and I mostly did it to myself, but I was talking to a lot more people, and like, I'm feeling really, really freaking lonely. And then so I'm really freaking lonely, and then all I do is like a cult of school children who whoever's like from like any age to 18 basically is like I'm a legend to these people who have it seems like every single kid of this generation has been raped or something. I'm serious. Like there's not every because like people are quiet. There's normal people around everywhere. It's usually just one or two or three people who continue. When I first arrived here, everybody was talking. Everybody around, they were all talking. It settled out to one or three people about. And I'm healthy. I thought I could handle this way easier, more passively. Like, I'm healthy. I can shit now. My bowels work normally. I'm not distracted intensely enough that I couldn't poop. But because, like, I went to the hospital, and the hospital's full of these people. Like, the hospital is full of crazies. And it was way worse in the hospital for a while. And like, the staff was doing it, and they fucking lied about it. Like, or what, in the first ward. But like I had good interactions when I tried. I tried talking to almost nobody because I was depressed and anxious. I wonder why. It's like, oh, well, let me go spark up a conversation with that person who was talking shit in the hallway and then trying to make me kill myself. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Just intuitively, it's like, wow. No, rationally, I should have chatted more. I was just generally depressed because I had to remember that I was undergoing an intense amount of internal wounds. Like, I had internal wounds. My stomachs and intestine were fucked up. Over a year ago, the reason why I was overeating was because, like, I was being sexually harassed by my neighbor every single day. And, like, yeah, I had some yeses, and of course I did my own sexual part with that. But it was mostly, everything was no's. It was almost always no's. But just, I attribute, like, straight up, like, I was good, I was saintly, I wasn't going crazy or anything like that. And, like, this person was crazy, and I knew it from the first, like, week. It's like, no. And it's like really fucked up shit because it's like I had such a vivid imagination, and then she would torture me through it by just saying horrible things, like trying to bring the worst imagery up to my head. And like, it was really fucked up. And it was after I'd had quit all porn, and I had literally put myself through psychological rehab, like psychedelic rituals, lion's mane, over the course of like 3 years, I was fixing up my brain and trying to quit porn. And it was like just taking neurotropics, like lion's mane, rhodiola, ginkgo biloba, ginseng, running, fasting, lifting, meditating, just all day, just self-improvement, like mad, I couldn't get enough achievement. I was just such a good boy. I couldn't get enough achievement. I had to go do that. That's my boy. He had to go. Like, that's like the son of me in some sense. Wait, no, I'm like the son of him. So it's like, that's my boy. I thought, like straight up, like, I am runner up for one of the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. Like, I have so much evidence of myself of why I'm badass as fuck, but I'm having like a psychological war issue where like I'm the only one fighting it, and I have to open up to people, and whether or not they believe it or not doesn't really matter, because like I'm possibly gonna off myself relatively quickly under these sorts of conditions if something doesn't change. So I have to be more open with. I have like 6 people that are right now trying to help me with my psychological state, and all they think it is that I'm hearing voices, and I've been scared to say anything. So, so I've been scared to say anything. I gotta wash my mouth. Talking the whole video. No, I gotta get some water. I'm dehydrated. I gotta wash my mouth. Wow. Isn't this a podcast? This is a podcast. Podcast.